Okay, well now at chapter 5 of E-Maths is on graphs. So in this particular chapter, you have sketching of graphs like this. Okay, they ask you to sketch graphs. The other kind of question you can get, right, is plotting of graph on graph paper. You know, every year since Sec 1 you have for every exam plotting. Okay, so sketching, you have, remember quadratic equation, a few videos ago we sketched quadratic equation of the form ax square y equal ax square plus bx plus c, right? But in this particular chapter, what we are concerned is, right, it's just a very simple one without this x term to complicate the things. So you just plus another number. This number, right, very simple. Let's do the question. Everybody knows this is a happy face, right? And why does it cut here? I mean the happy face, oh sorry, it's a bit inaccurate, it should end here. Why is the minimum point here? Because if you remember from A-Maths Trigo, right, the center line is 0, so this is the center line. Okay, so it's just like that. Now if I have a plus 2 or minus 2 or whatever, then of course you will change. So you see, wait, so in this particular case, do you remember we in our sine graph, cosine graph in E-Maths, right, we say always do this first. You can actually follow that same step. Okay, meaning that you write 2 here first, and you know this is a happy, this one done already, right? And then now you settle this is a happy face, right? So it's just like that. Oops, it's just like that. Okay, cutting here at 2. Yeah, that's all. And then you label the graph. Okay, now if you have a minus, if you remember from again your A-Maths, we have done a lot of graph curve sketching in A-Maths Trigo. This minus simply means the original graph, you flip, correct? So instead of happy, it becomes sad, that's all. And the center line is plus 0, right? That's why it's here. Okay, so when you study, you don't study, wow, memorize this, memorize this, memorize it. No need. Okay, quadratic graphs are of this form, correct? So you just remember one can already. You remember the happy face, can already. That means you remember this y equals x squared can already. The rest, right, you use what I taught you, plus 0 flip this one means flip, this one means the center line. Then you can do any question. I say, what is this center line? Minus 2, right? Okay, minus 2. No big deal, no big deal. Don't study until like, wow, like very tough like that. Then you see, if this is a happy face, then you'll be happy lah. But because it's minus, right, so it's just flip, flip the happy face. That's why it becomes sad face. Okay, now if now, okay, now done already, quadratic done already. If now I give you not power 2 but power 3, what's the difference? This power 3 is, if you remember, right, you see when you study things, you don't study like, wow, study this topic. You must link the topics together, then it's very simple. Okay, like I told you before, this cubic graph is like your tangent graph, right? Want to turn, then actually like want to maximum point, but then later change the mind and then go up, like that. So if you remember A-Maths, right, you got to draw the asymptote for tangent graph, right? Minus 90 here, 90 here, correct, for the asymptote. Yeah, but this is cubic graph lah. So you link cubic graph with tangent graph, then you are killing two birds with one stone, and you are studying effectively. You understand? Okay, now what if I give you this? Then the center line is 2 What does this mean? It means that you draw the center line first lah. Very simple one, really. You draw the center line first, then do what? Then you do what? Then you do the same shape lah, because this is x cubed so you only need to remember this, You only need to remember this. If there's a minus, right, then what do? You flip, you flip, This one flip here, that means it become like that, This one flip there, then it become like that. So you flip, and then you flip. That's all. Finish already. Okay? So remember, study smart. You only study one only. Minus means flip this. Okay. Then this one, if plus 2 means what? You bring up, but then the shape is still the same, right? So it's like the tangent graph, right? Tangent graph is one will become maximum, one will become one, then change the mind, don't want to turn already. Like that. Tangent graph ma. Okay. Then because it cuts here, you must label 2. It cuts here. How to label this point? Must label this point, okay? How to label this point? I told you already, when you lie on the x-axis, you must have some x value, that means the y equals 0. So you set this equals 0. Then you find x, right? You minus 2 both sides. Cube root both sides. You press calculator, you will get the 3SF value here. Okay? So that's how you do it. How do you do this? So I haven't done. Minus 2. Let's say it's minus 2. Minus 2, then how? Draw the center line first. Like that. Draw center line. Okay, then now do what? Instead of like that, right? That is a x cube curve, right? The sine curve, right? You flip, flip. This one flip here, this one flip here, like that. Okay? Very simple one. Is it the end already? No, you got to label here. How to find here? Same as here lah. Okay? Set this to 0 and then you can find this. Alright? Okay. Just now I forgot to mention to you, if they put like a, what do you call that? A dot here, right? Then they say 1, 1, 1, 1, right? How do you know whether it passed through the dot or not? You sub 1 inside here, then y is 1, right? Oh, then it passes through. Okay. How about this? You sub. Okay, let's say they give you 1, 1. How do you know whether this curve pass through 1, 1 or not? Very simple. You sub 1 inside here, 1 square plus this is 3. Oh no, when x equals to 1, y equals to 3. So of course it doesn't pass through. Okay. Very simple one. Okay, don't be confused by the dot if there's a dot lah. Okay, then the other thing is I can so-called rearrange this. That means I ask you to sketch this. X squared plus y plus 2 equals 0. If I ask you to sketch this, how? Actually, this and this, they are the same. You always need to make y the subject. Did you follow? Yeah. So I can even give it to you in this form. xy equals to 1. Then I say sketch. How to sketch this? Then you say, the teacher never teach. The teacher what do you mean the teacher never teach? You not supposed to sketch like that. You are supposed to make y the subject. So you divide by x. The teacher got teach this one. That's the next thing I'm doing now. Next thing I'm doing is what we call reciprocal graphs. Now, reciprocal graphs are very simple. See, isn't this just now the xy equals to 1? So you must always make y the subject. Then you can do any question they give you, okay? So, for example, this question, okay, I sketch for you first. Okay, this reciprocal graph, why called reciprocal? Because the x is found in the denominator. Okay, if you look at the other graphs that we have done, they're all found at the numerator. Okay, that's why it's called the tombalik. You know, Malay they call tombalik. That means flip lah. Flip. Reciprocal means flip. So this kind of graph, I told you before, it looks either like that, or like that, right? This is asymptote. Okay, yeah. So 1 over x. How to sketch 1 over x? Very simple. Very simple. You know it's either this or this, right? You just use your calculator and test. Just use the calculator and test. So when x is positive, let's call it 1. When x equals 1, you sub 1 inside is positive, right? This one positive, right? So when x equals 1 is positive, so it's here. Like that only. Okay, then when x is negative, you put minus 1 here. Then minus 1 here. What's minus 1? Minus 1 is here. Very simple one. Number is like so easy. Yeah, very easy one. Okay, okay, then now let's say it's like that. How? Actually, this one, because of the minus, right, it's just flip here, flip there. It's just this one. Okay? But if you don't know, ayo, very sad, if you don't know, very sad. But don't be sad, because you know why? Because you have the calculator. So with this calculator, right, you can just sub in, very, very easy one. If it comes out in the exam, I'll be very happy. Okay, something positive, what happened? Oh, when it's 1, it's minus 1. Oh, that's why it's here lah. That's why it's on this side. Then when it's minus 1, minus, then you press calculator, oh, it become plus. The y value is plus. So minus 1, then it's plus. That's why it's here lor. Very simple one, very simple. Okay, it's here. That's why I try this one. Same thing, you do this thing. You see, with a calculator, everything is very simple. Okay, so you sub in 1, then you put in 1, right? 1 square, whole thing square, you must put bracket and square in your calculator. 1, then be 1 no? Then it's here. Then when you put minus 1 now, minus 1, you put minus 1 inside. Minus 1, you put must put bracket. You don't put bracket, it's wrong. You square it. Ayo, it's like that no? Okay, this one you go and try on your own. It's like that. Very simple, very simple. So you see, they can ask you to sketch one. They can ask you to sketch x square y equals minus 1, then x square y plus 1 equals 0. Like that. They can ask you to sketch like that. Then what do? You make y the subject. Okay, because one of you asked me this question in the revision paper. Yeah, it's like that. Finish. Okay, so you're going to do on your own. Okay, now the last thing for this video is what we call exponential graph. Hey, where did it go? Here, it is here. Yeah. Okay, now exponential graph, very simple one. You know the COVID-19 exponentially go up, right? Now hit 2,900 cases. Yeah. Okay, so this is called exponential graph because this is a positive and then this one positive power. Okay, so it's like aeroplane taking off. Now if it is time, in A maths, right, if this is time, then you don't start from here. Okay, you start from here. But because it's not time, right, then this is the asymptote here. Clear? Okay, now if there is a minus, ladies and gentlemen, if there is a minus here, then what does it mean? Actually, it means that the aeroplane is landing. Okay, wait, haven't finished. This one, when x equals 0, right, you sub in here this 1. Okay, so you must sub in x equals 0, then you get this intercept 1. This one same, when I put x equals 0, also 1. Okay, but then if you don't know, right, just press calculator. Okay, when it's 1, what happens? This one you press calculator, right, it be half. When it's 2, what happens? 1/4. When it's 3, what happens? 1/9. When it's 4, what happens? 1/16. Can you see the numbers getting smaller and smaller and smaller? The y value getting smaller and smaller and smaller. That's why it looks like that, no? Whereas this one, when you sub in 1, becomes 2. When you sub in 2, it becomes 4. Wow, when you sub in 3, it becomes 9. When you sub in 4, it becomes 16. When you sub in 5 only, becomes 32. Wow, that's why the numbers are going up. Okay, then if I put a minus here, right, what happens? Wait. If I put a minus here, what happens? Flip, flip. Then this will still be minus 1, not 1, minus 1, like that. Okay. What if I plus 1? Oh, plus 1, then you just draw this first. Okay. Then you follow. Then you got to find this. Okay, but it won't come out because this is A maths already. Okay, yeah. Because to solve this, you need A maths. Yeah. For this particular, finish already. This one, right? This one, you know why? When this is a number, right? When the argument, the thing inside this bracket is called the argument. We call it the argument, is greater, is the argument when it's greater than 0 but less than 1, right? That means 0 point something 0 point something, 0 point something, right? Cannot be 1, okay? When it's 0 point something, it will be like that. Then you ask me, what like that? It's positive power, what? Yeah, but you see, remember your indices. Bring up is minus 1, right? 1 become minus 1, right? Then this x, right? Then the bracket here means times, right? Can you see? Can you see that it's actually this fella? Okay, so that's why it's like that, no? And then you label here 1, okay, finish. How about here? This one, do you know is a, oops, is a aeroplane taking off. Then you say, huh? Why aeroplane taking off? It's negative what? Isn't negative aeroplane landing? By right it is, but because this argument is between 0 and 1, so when you flip it, now it's 2 to the power 1, right? When you bring it up, it's 2 to the power minus 1, right? We are revising indices now, killing many birds with one stone. Minus times minus is plus, right? Oh, it's actually this one originally. Okay, then now you have to put a 1 here. Okay, everybody clear? Okay, now I do one last thing with you. This kind, right, they can also set like that. Because when you so-called open up the bracket, is 1 to the power x, this is 2 to the power x, right? 1 to the power of anything, ladies and gentlemen, it's just 1. Okay, it's like 1, you times 1 million times also 1, what? Okay, yeah, so the question can give it to you like that, 2 to the power x, then y, then you go minus 1 equals 0, then say sketch this. So what do? You make y the subject, finish. Okay, then as I told you, they can plus something, then you shift up, draw the center line here, then treat the center line as the x-axis. Okay, now we'll end here. Thank you very much. We have not finished chapter 5. We'll continue in the next video.